Hello everyone, welcome back to Ruby Tarot. Thank you so much for always following and supporting this channel. The very moment you happen to watch this video is precisely the right time for you to receive the message meant for you. On this channel, I always bring forth messages about what is about to unfold in your life. When you open your heart to receive and truly believe in the positive, you are also aligning yourself with a parallel world where your deepest wishes have already come true. Today, through this reading, I wish to help you open the doorway to future possibilities, supporting you on your journey to conquer love and bring your desires into reality. The theme of today's reading is, that one thing you have always longed for, that wish you hold so deeply in your heart, will it actually come true? I have prepared 3 cards for you to choose from, corresponding to Pile 1, Pile 2, and Pile 3. Please listen closely to your intuition and choose the card you feel the strongest pull toward, and then click on the timestamp in the description box to go directly to your chosen reading. Now, let us begin the reading with those of you who have already made your choice. Hello to all of you who chose Pile 1. Thank you so much for waiting, and now I will begin the reading dedicated to those of you who selected Pile number 1. I hope that this reading will bring you healing, new realizations, and moments filled with love and tenderness. With the theme being that which you have always longed for, always wished for from the very depths of your heart, will it truly come to pass? Let us first take a closer look at your present situation. The cards that have appeared here are all from the Suit of Pentacles, the 3 of Pentacles, the 5 of Pentacles, and the 2 of Pentacles. These are all cards that speak of matters rooted in the material, the tangible, the real aspects of life. Looking at them together as a whole, the very first impression that arises is that you are currently in a phase of busyness, a time when your life is being stretched thin. Both the 3 of Pentacles and the 2 of Pentacles emphasize the busyness of work, the constant juggling, the feeling of being caught in a never-ending cycle of responsibilities. It seems that you are having to brace yourself to handle many things at once, working hard while trying to balance the different aspects of your daily existence. At the center, however, lies the 5 of Pentacles. This card reveals that you may be in a state of instability, perhaps financial, or more broadly, a sense that life itself feels uncertain, lacking in security, lacking in solid ground beneath your feet. For some of you, this could manifest clearly as financial struggle, the sense of scraping by, of not having enough. Even when you put in more effort, even when you take on more work or invest more of your energy, the return may feel insufficient, the tangible results not growing as you hoped, leaving you disheartened. There is also here a message of feeling unsupported, as though no one stands behind you, and you are left to carry the burdens alone, to shoulder everything on your own. This, in turn, contributes to the tension, the busyness, and the fatigue that weighs on you at this very moment. And yet, when I look at the 3 of Pentacles, I sense strongly that within you there is a purpose, a goal that is very specific, very defined. That very goal is what drives you to push forward, what keeps you occupied, and also the reason why you are pouring in so much effort, so much time, even so many resources to pursue it. Perhaps it is something you truly want to do, something you truly desire, running alongside all the things you are obligated to do. And sometimes, it is precisely the act of adding more to your workload, of taking on more responsibilities, that contributes to the current state, opening up opportunities, yes, but at the same time increasing the pressure. Here, I want to look more deeply, to peel back the layers and see the picture of your situation with greater clarity. The next cards that have shown themselves are the 4 of Swords, the Hanged Man, and the Wheel of Fortune. The message they bring makes me feel that you are in a state of restlessness, of anxiety, even of panic at times, feeling that you must be in time, that you must act quickly, that you must catch up with something before it slips away. Perhaps you sense yourself racing against time, needing to finish urgently, needing not to miss out on opportunities. But at the same time, the Wheel of Fortune suggests a delay, a slowing down, a misalignment of rhythm when compared to your expectations. It is as though you are trying to accelerate, yet the current of life pulls you back, slowing you down, creating unease, impatience, and urgency within you. All of this portrays a spiral, a cycle that is both effort and pressure, both longing and waiting, yet not quite reaching the fulfillment you yearn for. Therefore, it feels as though the material aspects of your life have not quite managed to keep pace with you. For example, perhaps you had to take a significant period of rest, being forced to pause your work, and from that pause arose a sense of unease, especially around money and financial security. Or perhaps you found yourself in a state where you were unable to move, unable to act according to your own will, and it was precisely that immobility which stirred up more anxiety, more uncertainty within you. However, this energy does not seem to belong solely to the present. It feels as though it had already emerged from a prior phase, and its echo, its lingering aftermath, is still extending into this moment now. That is why, when we look at the situation as it stands, it appears as though you have been compelled to become busier, to force yourself into speeding up, to adjust your rhythm of life faster than you would have wished. Almost as though being drawn into a whirlpool you never intended. This is precisely the picture that the Wheel of Fortune shows, and so I drew an additional clarifying card for this message. Here, the Six of Cups has appeared. This card further strengthens the sense that there has been a shift, a detour, a divergence away from the original plan or direction. It is as though something that should have unfolded according to arrangement, to promises, to timing and schedule, has not come to pass or could not be maintained. There are things you thought you would surely achieve, things you were certain you would have in hand, but at this very moment, they are still out of reach. It may have been a promise left unfulfilled, a commitment that could not be honored, or a schedule that was forced to change, and it is precisely these disruptions that leave you feeling hurried, restless, and uneasy. Inside, it is almost as if a question keeps echoing. What exactly happened? And to understand this more deeply, I drew 3 more cards to illuminate the situation. The Page of Wands appeared, and to clarify this card further, the Queen of Swords came out. Alongside these, the 3 prominent cards here are the Five of Swords, the Three of Wands, and the Page of Wands clarified by the Queen of Swords. Looking at the whole picture, there are some very clear messages that I want to share with you. First of all, the energy here suggests a situation where you may have been outpaced, as though someone else acted before you, leaving you with the impression of being a step behind, of being left lagging. Alongside this, when I observe the combination of these cards, I see hints of a situation involving a lack of honesty or an attitude, an action that was not entirely upright from someone's side, something that stirred anger, disappointment, and forced you to stop, to restrain yourself, to become more cautious before moving forward again. The energy in this reading shows that you once nurtured a plan, a grand vision, something significant and meaningful, perhaps even a turning point for you. Yet unexpected events intervened, and they prevented you from following the original path you had mapped out for yourself. This is what has left you feeling both disheartened and unsettled, as though a part of your dream has been restrained, unable to bloom and expand in the way you had hoped, unable to manifest fully according to your expectations. The appearance of the Wands card here indicates that something has intervened, something has stepped in and forced you to pause, compelled you to stop midway. It feels as though there has been an obstruction that pressed the pause button on your journey, making you stand still and reconsider. Perhaps you were forced to bring something to an end, to let go, or at the very least to change your approach, to find a new way forward. The energy of this reading is very clear in saying that you cannot continue along the old path, you cannot remain in the same state as before, and because of that you must adjust, you must shift, you must redirect. I want to look deeper, to see the details more clearly, but this card itself already reflects the exact sense that you have been halted, forced to alter your pace and the direction you are taking. Now, I will draw a few oracle cards to shed more light on the situation. The first card reveals the energy of waiting. There is something here that you are compelled to wait for, something that requires your patience, something that you cannot rush or force. It feels as though there is an element beyond your influence, something immovable, something beyond your control, which obliges you to accept, to acknowledge that it cannot be changed immediately. Alongside this, another oracle card has appeared, carrying the meaning of belonging. The message here suggests that there are bonds, there are ties, there are things that cannot be severed, and you must learn to embrace them as an inevitable part of your circumstances. I pulled another card to add to this picture, and when all 3 are seen together, the image becomes more complete. This is a phase that you cannot resist, cannot fight against, but rather one where the only option is to wait patiently until the ripened moment arrives. In addition, 2 more oracle cards emerged, pointing to the energies of yielding and nurturing. Perhaps you have had to yield once before, to step back, to allow another to move forward. At times that may have been an act of sacrifice, at other times an act of wisdom to preserve your own energy. At the same time, the energy of nurturing, of birthing, of planting, and cultivating is strongly emphasized here. This may literally connect to caring for or raising a child, or symbolically represent something within your life that is asking you to tend to it patiently, to build it slowly and steadily. When weaving these messages together, what I clearly feel is that this present moment is not one for you to rush ahead. Rather, it is a time when you are required to wait, to let things ripen, to allow them to grow and mature in their own rhythm. Only then will the moment of action truly come. Now we move into the next part, looking directly at the wish that you truly long to achieve. The Hermit has been drawn as the foundation, and I pulled another card to clarify. What appears here are the Six of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, and the Eight of Swords. Altogether, we see two pentacle cards, which immediately highlight the material realm, finances, resources, and the tangible aspects of your life. When I take in this trio, I can clearly sense a very real, very grounded yearning within you. You want to be fairly rewarded for what you have already given. You are longing for reciprocity, for fairness. The Six of Pentacles brings forth the energy of giving and receiving, of balance within exchanges. Here, I feel that you have already given a lot. You have poured in your effort, your time, your energy, perhaps even your money, and now you are longing for the universe, or the people involved, to return to you in fairness, to respond to you in a way that honors what you have done. The Page of Pentacles speaks to the desire for a fresh start, a rebuilding upon a steady, reliable foundation, almost as though you wish to restore, to reconstruct something that has been lost along the way. And the Eight of Swords reveals your sense of being trapped, bound, caught in anxiety, the fear that your efforts may never be returned, the fear that all you have poured out may end up wasted. The energy here echoes with a strong, undeniable longing. You want to recover, to reclaim, to restore that which slipped away or was taken from you, especially within the realm of money, resources, possessions, or any form of tangible value. Yet it goes even deeper than material things. It extends to your soul's need for recognition, for deserving acknowledgement, for the reassurance that there will be a fair return after all that you have given. What you crave most at this time, what shines through so clearly in this reading, is balance, is reciprocity, is reward, is the rightful compensation that mirrors the persistence and effort you have invested so diligently. There is also a very strong sense that you are currently in a situation that feels unfair, something that makes you feel in your heart, this truly is not fair. The Page of Pentacles is present, yet its energy appears blocked, as though the beginnings you longed for, the things you were fully prepared to embark on, cannot yet be started. You have been ready for quite some time. You had the intention, the plans, the preparations all lined up, and yet now you find yourself forced into patience, forced into restraint. Even when you look around and see others moving forward, see them proceeding according to their own plans, you still feel as though you are bound, held back, compelled to wait, while inside your heart burns with the urgency, with the deep desire to begin right away. Within you rises a powerful, almost overwhelming yearning. You want to begin, you want to act, because you hold complete faith in your own abilities, in your capacity to achieve, in your certainty that you can do this and do it well. It is precisely this self-confidence that intensifies your impatience, that makes you want to dive in, that makes you long to see yourself already in motion, already beginning right now. And yet, the present circumstances do not allow it. You are forced to stop, compelled to delay, and that creates discomfort, a stifling restlessness, a state where you must suppress and restrain your own emotions. Inside, questions echo again and again. Why must I wait? Why must I endure when I know I am completely capable? Why am I forced to stop when every fiber of me is ready to move forward? Even though all the preparations are in place, even though you are more ready than you have ever been, the opportunity has still not yet arrived for you to act. And so, your deepest wish in this moment is for these things to finally be realized, for you to truly be allowed to start, for you to release the energy that has been held back and pent up within you for so long. As I look deeper, something striking occurs. The cards repeat themselves. The Page of Pentacles appears once more, affirming with even greater clarity your longing to embark on something new, something concrete and tangible. Alongside it, again, the Eight of Swords reveals itself, the card of entrapment, of immobilization, of being bound so tightly that you cannot move forward. And drawn as a clarifier upon this Eight of Swords, the Three of Cups comes forth. Together, this combination speaks of imbalance. For some of you, it may manifest as a struggle within your own body or mind, where your physical state or emotional state no longer feels steady. For some, the wish may be as simple and profound as the desire to recover, to heal, to return to balance once more in both health and spirit. When all of these energies are woven together, the cards emphasize a clear reality. There is something you are burning to do, something you deeply wish to bring into action, but the circumstances are demanding patience from you. You have the capability, you have the confidence, you have prepared yourself in every way, but you are confined, you are restricted, you are made to wait, to remain still, while within you, The current of desire is urging, pushing, flowing toward a beginning. And the wish that these cards reveal is precisely this. You long to break free from that restraint. You long to begin. You long to act, to live fully in rhythm with the heartbeat and the calling of your soul that has been waiting for so long. Your wish is to be released, to set things in motion, to finally see what you have been nurturing deep within yourself sprout forth and grow, rather than remain suppressed in endless, wearying waiting. There are times when you want to go out for a drink with friends, when you long to join a gathering, to immerse yourself in dates or in joyful events, yet somehow you find yourself unable to make it happen. Deep inside, the desire is strong, but whenever someone invites you, you end up having to decline, having to shake your head, restraining yourself, holding it all back. This may stem from practical reasons, such as financial limitations, or it could arise from issues related to your health, when your body simply is not ready, when your energy and condition are not sufficient for you to participate. In the past, you could freely enjoy those things. You once allowed yourself to indulge and experience them openly, yet now you must hold back. You must endure, and this constant self-restraint builds up an air of suffocation, an uncomfortable heaviness that, at times, makes your heart feel as if it is being squeezed tight. Alongside that, I sense another shade of energy, a sense of comparison, of subtle ache, and at times even of envy. Not because you are ill-natured, but because when you look around and see others enjoying themselves, having the things you long for but cannot yet attain, a sigh quietly escapes from within you. If only I could have that too. If only I could be there. It would be so wonderful. Maybe it's when you notice someone in your circle, a friend, a family member, or even just a passing image in your surroundings, and that vision makes you reflect on yourself. I should have been there too. I should have been able to do that as well. Why is it that right now I cannot? That thought breeds regret, a deeper sense of yearning and unease that lingers in your heart. Yet on another energetic plane, the two cards appearing here reveal a very different perspective. You are truly giving your all. You are pouring yourself wholeheartedly into learning, into study, into pursuits that demand unwavering focus. You are in a phase where discipline and dedication are essential, where you must turn your ear away from the laughter and festivities in order to prioritize what matters more. I clearly see the image of someone working diligently, tirelessly, pouring out all their strength to reach a larger goal, a meaningful destination that lies ahead. For some of you, this becomes most evident in the context of studies or examinations. You may be preparing for an important test, a milestone that could shape your path. You are compelled to concentrate, compelled to channel all of your energy into that, and as a result, countless moments of joy, opportunities for socializing, for relaxation and fun, have had to be sacrificed. The longing within you is not just for your efforts to be acknowledged. It is more specific, more urgent. You crave success. You yearn to pass. You thirst for a result that validates your devotion. Inside your heart resounds a powerful affirmation. I want to overcome this. I want to achieve this. I want to reach the final destination I have been striving toward. So, your wish at this moment is not about something happening tomorrow or the day after, not about an immediate change that falls into your lap out of nowhere. Rather, it is a long-term vow, a deeper aspiration, a goal you have set for yourself and are pursuing with every ounce of your strength. It is like the image of a dedicated student who is pouring everything into preparing for an exam, and only when the results are announced can they truly feel at peace. Only then can they see their wish taking shape in reality. That is why the energy of this reading emphasizes that you are in the midst of a long journey, a path that demands patience, endurance, persistence. Your greatest desire right now is to see this path through to the end, to reach the final destination, to embrace a good outcome, to receive recognition that matches the devotion and effort you have given. Following this, I drew 3 oracle cards to shed more light on your situation. Interestingly, 3 came out at once, and together they bring forth a message that is both strong and clear. Their combined energy reveals that within your heart you already hold a very specific goal, a precise timeline that you have set for yourself. It is as though you have been whispering inwardly, by this time, I must achieve it. By that moment, I want everything to take form as I envisioned. This is not just a vague longing. It is a destination you have carved firmly into your mind, one you are keeping as a promise to yourself. At the same time, these oracle cards strongly highlight themes of harmony, balance, and resolution. Their energy speaks like a gentle voice telling you, perhaps what you long for is something to be untangled, something to be dissolved, something to be made clear. For example, you may be yearning that before spring arrives, a certain matter in your life will be resolved smoothly, neatly, with clarity. And when I connect the threads of these cards together, I sense even further that for some of you, this deep longing is about healing a relationship, about restoring closeness, about reconciling, about rebuilding a bond that once fractured. For others, it may be that you find yourself in a new environment, and you carry the wish to integrate, to belong, to become familiar, to discover a sense of kinship within a group, a community, a space that is not yet your own. In whichever direction this energy manifests, the collective thread remains the same. The wish within you is not one for tomorrow, not for the day after. It is tied to a very specific point in time, when you have quietly promised yourself, before then, I want things to settle, I want this to come true. And this, precisely, is rising up as the profound dream you are carrying, the hope you are yearning for so deeply to bring into reality. Now we move on to the next part, the things that are becoming obstacles, the elements that are blocking you on this journey. The Knight of Pentacles appears, and I drew one more card to clarify. The most striking message here is unease, insecurity. It isn't that there is a tangible barrier standing in your way, no visible wall preventing you from moving forward, but rather it is the inner unrest, the turmoil within your heart that is becoming the greatest obstruction. Fear, doubt, and uncertainty are the forces binding your steps, making each move feel heavier than it should. Looking at the combination of these cards, the Page of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, and finally the Queen, the Empress, the picture becomes even clearer. This is the energy of gradual progress, of a process that unfolds step by step, requiring patience, persistence, and careful nurturing. And yet, alongside that steady pace arises a deep, gnawing question in your mind. Are the things I am doing truly on the right path? Will the efforts I have poured in actually bear fruit? Will the seeds I have sown blossom, bloom, and bring forth the results I have been longing for? Will I truly be able to hold the harvest in my hands, to turn it into something real, something stable, something that brings abundance and peace into my life? Here, the cards are at once affirming your desire for stability, growth, and nourishment on the path you have chosen, while also reflecting your fears that things may not unfold according to plan. This tug of war between faith and anxiety is the true test you are facing. It is not necessarily an obstacle imposed from the outside, but rather a profound lesson urging you to trust in the process, to believe that the seeds you have planted with patience will bloom in their own season at exactly the right time. And when I look deeper into the energy of these cards, I feel strongly that this does not primarily stem from external factors, but instead from within you. The worries, the insecurities I spoke of earlier are in fact what you are generating for yourself. They are not necessarily caused by any overwhelming objective influence, but rather arise from your own mind ceaselessly questioning, doubting, and pressuring itself. Circling thoughts such as, is this path I am on truly the right one? Will the things I am working so hard for bring me happiness, bring me fulfillment? Will I ultimately achieve the outcome I am yearning for? These questions loop endlessly within, and it is this cycle of self-doubt and self-pressure that is leaving you unsettled, making you feel unsteady and anxious in your heart. Perhaps right now, you cannot fully feel a sense of certainty, nor can you clearly see the tangible results from what you have been putting your energy into. It is as if you have planted the seeds yet no sprouts have appeared, and so your heart falls into a state of doubt. Will these seeds really take root and grow? Am I truly moving in the right direction? This lack of something you can hold in your hands, the absence of a concrete, lived experience that your efforts are being rewarded, creates the spiral of unease that you find yourself in. Adding to this, the energy of the Page of Swords reveals alertness, wariness, and suspicion. I remember earlier, the Five of Swords appeared, and now the message continues consistently. There is a part of you that worries about what you have being taken away by others, that someone might use you, or that something might be stolen. Sometimes these are very specific concerns, such as information, knowledge, plans, or the fruits of your labor. You fear that if you are not careful, someone could step in, seize, or take over what you have been building. I do not necessarily see this as something that always happens in reality, but clearly you are in a state of heightened alert, always watching, always wary, always cautious. Because of focusing too much on guarding yourself against what surrounds you, your steps inadvertently slow down. Instead of moving forward with confidence and steadiness, you keep checking and rechecking, keeping your eyes fixed on what is around you so much that it feels as though you are swallowed into this spiral of vigilance. From there, you become more cautious than necessary, and that delay only makes you even more uneasy. Furthermore, the next two cards highlight this even more strongly. Within you, the same questions echo. Will everything be okay? Will what I am doing truly grow, truly bear flowers and fruits? Will the efforts I am pouring into this really turn into results? Will they truly create something of value? This fear is the very core of the obstacle you are facing. It is not only the fear of failure, it is the fear of not being able to give birth, not being able to create, not being able to manifest the final outcome. Among you, there may be some who feel this worry very vividly. The anxiety that you cannot generate, cannot give birth, cannot truly see the outcome. And these thoughts, this unease itself, has become the greatest barrier on your path at this moment. Here, I will go a little deeper to see more clearly the picture that the cards are painting. The three cards that appeared are the King of Cups, the Ace of Swords, and the World. When these three come together, the message rises very powerfully. Within you there is an undercurrent of worry, the uncertainty of whether you will truly be able to reach the end of the path, whether you have enough endurance to carry things through to completion, or if you might let go halfway, faltering and abandoning the effort. Beneath this lies a fear about steadfastness, whether you have enough determination to go all the way, or if trials and challenges will cause you to stumble and waver. And it does not stop at yourself alone. The cards also open the possibility of another factor, perhaps someone close to you. It is as if you are asking yourself, will that person wait for me? Will they have enough patience to stay, to remain without leaving me behind? For some of you, this energy surfaces vividly, the fear that the one you are relying on may change their heart, that they may not stay until the end. Alongside that, other questions echo inside you. Will I truly be understood? Will there be someone who can accept me, who can open their arms wide enough to embrace me, to truly not turn their back on me? That is why, within this picture of obstacles, I see not only the lack of confidence to speak up, to express openly, but also the looming shadow of fear regarding emotions and the shifting tides of another's heart. If someone's feelings for you fade, or if you yourself change inside, that too becomes a barrier that makes it difficult for you to continue walking forward with peace of mind. And this may also explain why in previous spreads, the cards kept highlighting themes of resolution, of healing, as though you are meant to face and transcend this very lesson in order to rise above it. I then pulled 3 more oracle cards, and they cast light on yet another facet of the obstacle. What stands out here is the energy of lacking stillness. It feels as though the environment you are in is not quiet enough, not stable enough for you to focus, for you to feel at ease and fully devote your mind and heart to what matters most. The energy of the reading suggests that you might be surrounded by disturbances, lacking serenity, lacking a true sanctuary where you can wholeheartedly give yourself. This, in itself, becomes a significant barrier. In addition, I also sense a movement, as though you may need to seek a new place, a new space, or begin again from an entirely different foundation. You may be asking yourself, will I be able to find it? Will I be capable of rebuilding from the ground up? This very question reveals a deep sense of bewilderment, as if you are standing at a crossroads, compelled to start again from 0, or perhaps from 1, while inside your heart inevitably sinks, weighed down, losing some of its drive. The energy of weariness, of discouragement, emerges here, signaling that this very sensation of running out of breath, this gradual loss of motivation, is slowly becoming a true obstacle. One that makes it difficult for you to keep your steps steady and strong along the journey that you so deeply yearn to see through to fulfillment. If I follow the flow of the cards, what I sense strongly is this kind of nuance. At times, you may find yourself in situations where you feel, again, why is it taking so long? As though something is dragging on endlessly, making you go in circles instead of moving straight ahead. The energy of these 3 cards evokes the image of domino pieces. You can picture yourself having been so patient, so meticulous, carefully lining up each piece one by one to form a long chain of dominoes. You are almost finished, so close to completion, just one small step away from the end. And yet, at that very moment, a tiny stumble, an unexpected mishap occurs. In an instant, everything you had built so carefully collapses, toppling down right when you were only a breath away from reaching fulfillment. That feeling unsettles you, leaving you to wonder in confusion. Do I have to start all over again? Do I really need to reset everything from 0 once more? It is precisely this state that generates a sense of weariness in you, tinged with both regret and hesitation, as though the idea of beginning anew once again makes your heart sink, heavy and reluctant. And now we move into the heart of the matter. The wish you carry in your heart, will it come true or not? The cards that appear here are truly powerful. The very first is the 9 of Cups, the card famously known as the Wish card. It arises here like a firm, unshakable affirmation that what you are yearning for, what you are longing for, will indeed manifest. The 9 of Cups brings forth the imagery of fulfillment, of emotional and spiritual abundance, of joy being reciprocated, of your heartfelt desire being granted. Alongside it, I drew several more cards to expand the picture, and the ones that surfaced were the Nine of Wands, the Five of Wands, the Moon, and the King of Wands. This is a combination brimming with deep and layered meaning. The Nine of Wands reflects that you have already endured so many hardships, countless trials. You have been wounded before, you have faltered at times, yet you have never truly given up. You still remain standing, persevering until the very end. The Five of Wands reveals competition, struggle, conflict, sometimes with others, sometimes within yourself, but all of it only serves as challenges that you are meant to overcome. The Moon speaks again of uncertainty, of doubt, of illusions that stir anxiety within you, leaving you unsure of just how far you can go. Yet when the King of Wands rises, the message becomes unmistakably clear. You hold the power to take command. You embody the energy of leadership. You possess the strength to break through obstacles and rise up once more, moving forward with unwavering determination. Altogether, the cards circle around one resounding message. No matter if you are feeling delayed right now, no matter if there are moments where you must pause, no matter if there are times when you feel compressed, constrained, or stifled, in the end what you desire will indeed come to fruition. The Nine of Cups has already confirmed without doubt, your wish will be granted. And to look even deeper, I drew one more card, and it emphasized with conviction. You will move forward, you will break through, you will not be held back forever. The obstacles, the barriers that once restrained you will gradually dissolve, and before your eyes a clear and open path will emerge. The gate will open, the door will unlock. That moment will arrive at the right time in perfect alignment. The universe will send you a sign so distinct, so undeniable, like an announcement, a signal that you will recognize with clarity that the time has ripened, that the moment has come for you to step through the threshold and enter the very realm you have long yearned for. All that you must do is hold steady in your faith, because the sign, the confirmation, will arrive, and you will know with certainty when the way has truly opened before you. When I look into this spread, the Moon appears, carrying with it a profoundly meaningful message. It speaks of transition, of a period of change, of the closing of one cycle and the beginning of another. The Moon here is not only a symbol of the fears, the uncertainty, and the fog of confusion that once surrounded you, but it also points toward transformation, purification, and that breaking moment of release and joy when you finally move through it all. Alongside it, the Nine of Cups emerges as a complete blessing, a card of wishes fulfilled, of emotional abundance, of deserving reward. The imagery here seems to say, you have been utterly drained, you have known exhaustion, you have poured out every ounce of energy, every bit of focus, your entire heart and soul into a long journey, and now the final outcome has arrived, exactly as you are worthy of receiving. This card speaks clearly. Congratulations. Your dream has manifested. You have reached the very end. You did not give up. You gave everything of yourself, and now the prize, the fulfillment, the joy of victory lies right before your eyes. This is the message of relentless effort carried through until the very end, the refusal to submit, the refusal to let go even when weariness felt overwhelming. And it is precisely this steadfastness, this persistence, that has become the key to unlocking the reward, the deep joy, the profound satisfaction within your soul as you realize that none of your efforts have been in vain. Just as I mentioned earlier about transition, the Moon underscores the truth that you endured, that you braced yourself, that you bore the weight with patience through the darkness, and now the light, the joy, and the great release have finally arrived. In addition, when I drew one more card for clarity, the message became even more unmistakable. The image that emerged was of you, a person who has always given relentless effort in silence, in quiet perseverance. You have not boasted, you have not flaunted, you have not sought to make others see what you have done or what burdens you have carried. Instead, you chose to endure patiently, to shoulder the responsibilities, the heavy weights, and to keep moving forward step by step. The deck shows this clearly through the presence of the Ace of Wands, the Lovers, the Ten of Wands, once again the Moon, and the Nine of Wands. The Ace of Wands is the spark of a brand new energy, the explosion of inspiration, the flame that ignites after all the long and arduous efforts. The Lovers appear as a testament to connection, companionship, and the choice that your heart has long desired to make. The Ten of Wands sketches the image of you bearing the load of an entire journey, a journey heavy with hardship, at times pressing down on you so much it felt like your back might break beneath the weight, and yet still you carried on, refusing to abandon it, never ceasing to walk forward. And the moon together with the Nine of Wands repeats itself, as though to affirm once more that every ounce of endurance, every silent suffering, every sacrifice and effort born in the dark where no one else could see, all of these will transform into fruition, into deserved results, into the very outcome you have long yearned for. The final message that resounds from this combination is this: what you desire, what you once entrusted to your heart, what you have cherished and nurtured in silence and perseverance, you have already drawn toward yourself. You are truly attracting, truly calling forth what you have always longed for. Just like a pair of hands reaching out to grasp, you will touch and hold on to the very thing you have wanted, and that will be the harvest of all your unwavering efforts, the reward for the tireless devotion into which you have poured your entire being. The cards here are affirming with great clarity that everything will flow smoothly, that you will indeed receive the outcome you have been longing for. The Ace of Wands appears, revealing the opportunity to embark on what you have been yearning for, the very things you have carried deep within your heart, and now they are right before your eyes. Even if, at this present moment, you may still be in a state of restraint, of waiting, of holding yourself back with patience, soon the time will arrive when you can pour yourself completely, wholeheartedly, into your work, into your dream, into the very thing you truly desire to do, without any barriers or restrictions holding you down. This is a sign that a new door, a new flame, is being lit, allowing you to step onto a path of action with your full passion, your full energy, and every spark of inspiration within you. This also connects to what I spoke of earlier. You are perceiving everything within a frame of time, a specific period that you yourself have already set. Inside you lies a milestone, a boundary, a quiet determination that by this point you must accomplish, or within this span you will achieve. And the cards confirm that, yes, within that very time frame, you will witness your wish coming true. You will see what you have longed for sprout, blossom, and take shape in reality. I continue to draw more oracle cards for clarity, and how wonderful it is. The energy that emerges is one of prosperity, of fullness, of abundance, a richness overflowing. The three cards that appeared speak clearly. If within your heart there has ever been a dream of seeking something, if there has ever been that worry of not knowing whether you would find it, whether you could reach it, the answer is that you will indeed find it. What you long for will not only come to you, it will arrive in such a way that you will feel it is an experience meant solely for you, a gift that only you are destined to receive. Perhaps it will be a rare encounter, a precious opportunity, or a unique accomplishment that only your hands will be able to touch, a treasure that carries the undeniable mark of being yours and yours alone. The oracle cards also whisper further, reminding you that truth will be revealed, that what was once hidden in shadow will be brought into the light. You will know clearly, you will understand deeply, you will receive the confirmation that the choice you once made was not wrong at all. That realization will grant you a sense of ease, a steady reassurance, a renewed faith to continue moving forward. And above all, the message of abundance, of fullness, of fulfillment resounds once more. It links directly with the energy previously shown through the Knight of Pentacles and the Queen, the cards of nurturing, of growth, of the ability to transform something small into lasting prosperity. Now the cards echo this again. You will welcome wealth, happiness, and flourishing prosperity, both in the realm of spirit and in the material world. The worry about whether you can truly become abundant, whether you can truly be happy, will gradually fade away, for that overflowing energy is now finding its way to you. Everything you have striven for, everything you have endured with patience, everything you have persevered with in silence, is now converging to return to you the reward you deserve. The path you chose has been the right path, and now you will witness the outcome. You will see abundance pouring into your life. This is the message that closes the reading for you, that your wishes are not only coming true, but they are also ushering in a phase filled with happiness, richness, and fulfillment. I will bring the reading for those of you who chose pile 1 to a close here. If you enjoyed this content, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and support it by giving the video a like. Your encouragement is the greatest source of motivation that helps me continue to bring new content. If there was something in this reading that stirred your heart, I hope you might leave a comment or even just a small symbol to let me know that the message has reached you. I always look forward to your comments, so don't hesitate to share your thoughts. Thank you for watching until the very end of the video. I look forward to seeing you again in the next reading. Hello to those of you who chose pile 2. Thank you for your patience. Now, I will begin the reading for those who were drawn to pile number 2. I hope that this reading will bring you healing, fresh realizations, and moments filled with love and warmth. With the theme being what you have always longed for, what you have always desired from the depths of your heart, will it come true? First, let us take a look at your current situation. The very first card that appeared is the Six of Swords, and I pulled an additional card to clarify it. The sequence that unfolded here is the Six of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Chariot. When these cards present themselves together, what I sense is a state of hesitation, a sense of wavering, weighing heavily within you. It may be that in your heart, the same questions keep repeating. Should I let this go? Should I continue walking forward, or should I stop here? Should I advance, or should I turn back? This is precisely the energy of doubt, the crossroads where you now stand, and both the Six of Swords and the Seven of Pentacles highlight this inner questioning. There is a possibility that you feel uncertain whether continuing as you will bring good results, or perhaps something within you keeps making you wonder whether it is worth it to go further at all. On the other hand, the Queen of Pentacles reveals that right now there is something of great importance that you want to protect, something you feel compelled to safeguard, something you feel it is your responsibility to cherish and to nurture. This could be a relationship, a career path, a value that you hold deeply, or something precious that you simply cannot afford to lose. At the same time, the Chariot brings in a sense of strong propulsion, of fiery ambition, of that yearning to act boldly, to break free, to step out of your comfort zone. And so, I see within you two contrasting currents. On one side, the desire for stability, for preservation and protection. On the other, the fierce drive to push forward, to embrace change, to carve a new path. Very likely you are standing at a moment where these two streams of energy are pulling at your soul in opposite directions, stretching you taut within, leaving you in a state of confusion and inner conflict. Let me go a little deeper to bring clarity. As I continued to draw, the Five of Swords, the Queen of Cups, and the Seven of Swords appeared. These cards reveal many layers. First of all, when the Five of Swords and the Seven of Swords show up together, they often reflect complexity and entanglement within relationships or within your present circumstances. They point to the possibility that you are facing competition, wrestling with the feeling of not wanting to lose, not wanting to be looked down upon, not wanting to be dismissed. Inside you, there is a force whispering, I do not want to fail. I do not want to be defeated. I do not want to be made small. This is precisely the energy of the Five of Swords, unyielding, combative, determined. At the same time, the Seven of Swords indicates another shade, a hidden angle, an underlying complexity, perhaps even an element of concealment. You may feel reluctant to reveal your whole self. You may want to keep something back in secret, not wanting to be seen too clearly, not wishing to stand fully exposed. This suggests that sometimes you prefer to step away from the gaze of others, to shield your inner world by holding back a part of yourself, protecting what is vulnerable through silence and discretion. The Queen of Cups appears here as a gentle reminder that deep down, you long for healing, for understanding, for love expressed in tenderness. The energy of the Queen of Cups blends into these outer conflicts like soothing water softening the sharp edges of your soul. But this also raises the possibility that you have already endured wounds in a certain relationship, leaving you with a yearning for comfort, for mending, for emotional replenishment. And once more, the Chariot returns, arriving as a powerful message. You do not want to be left behind. You do not want to be underestimated or cast as the weaker one. Within your heart, there still burns an intense longing for triumph, a fierce determination that refuses to yield. This is the fire that drives you, the willpower to keep moving forward, the inner cry that insists on victory, no matter how challenging the struggle may be. Now, I will also draw one more oracle card to bring further illumination. This oracle card appears like a whisper, showing the image of returning, of a longing to go back to someplace or to something that you were once deeply connected with. Combined with the Six of Swords, the card that symbolizes healing, mending, reconciliation, and the journey of moving through hardship, the message here becomes even clearer. There may be a part of you that longs to return, to rediscover balance, or to repair something that once fractured. It is as though the cards are saying that for some of you who chose Pile B, there is a true yearning to go back in order to heal, to mend, or to find once again the quiet, peaceful rhythm that you once knew. I can feel very strongly that some of you are now in a state of being pulled in two directions. On the one hand, there is the desire, the craving to return, to find your way back. Yet at the same time, there is also the awareness that you must move forward, that you are compelled to take the next step. It is as if inside your heart, a voice is echoing. I cannot stay here forever. I must go. I must move forward. There is no path left except to continue walking ahead. This is the very tension between the yearning to return and the truth that you must step onto a new chapter. And I see that some of you are standing in exactly this moment of inner struggle right now. In addition, when this card appears alongside the Seven of Swords, it unveils another layer of meaning. You may be in a situation where you no longer wish to hide, no longer wish to pretend, to evade, or to live behind a facade. For some of you, there's a very clear sense rising within that you want to speak the truth, you want to confess, you no longer want to live in falsehood, you no longer want to carry the heavy weight of secrets pressed upon your shoulders. Perhaps, in this present moment, you find yourself yearning to shed everything that has been restraining you, to step fully into the light, to voice the truth, to breathe more freely. When I look into the energy of this card, I feel a strong current of release, a desire for liberation, a deep longing for your soul to grow lighter, for the burdens binding you to finally dissolve away. Some of you may even feel an overwhelming urge to speak it all, to bring everything into the open, to withhold nothing, to pour everything out, to declare it bluntly and honestly so that your heart may finally feel at peace. Here, I sense so vividly the yearning for purification, for release, for unburdening, to speak it all in order for your spirit to feel light and free once again. Now let us move into the essential part, the wish, the desire that dwells deep in your heart, the thing you truly long to attain. The cards that have revealed themselves are the Four of Wands and the Ten of Swords. When I gaze upon these two together, I feel so clearly the intensity of your wish. You long to protect something, to safeguard it, to prevent it from shattering. Just as I mentioned earlier when speaking about your situation, it may be that you are trying to hold on to a state of peace, a sense of stability, an accomplishment you have already built, or something that grants you safety and security. You do not want it to be destroyed. You do not want it to dissolve away. You yearn to preserve it, to keep it intact. Within you rises a sense of urgency, a heartfelt cry that says, I do not want this to be lost. I want to protect it. I want to hold it tightly, to keep it safe within my grasp. And yet, behind that desire to protect lies a shadow, a truth that you know still lingers there. This is exactly what appeared earlier in the reading about your situation. Something has been concealed. Certain truths remain unspoken, matters still shrouded in ambiguity, things not yet brought into the light. You may be in a state where what you are trying so hard to protect is built upon a foundation that is not entirely pure. Perhaps it rests on uncertainties, on an unspoken lie, or on matters you have not yet found the courage to reveal. And so, within you exists a contradiction. On one side, you want to preserve the peace of the present, to hold on to this balance. On the other, you know there is a shadow lurking behind, something not right, not fully clean or transparent. The energy of the Four of Wands reveals your longing for peace, happiness, warmth, stability, and safety. But the Ten of Swords brings forth the sense of fear, fear of collapse, fear of an ending, fear that what you are holding onto so carefully might be destroyed. Here I see clearly a fear within you. I do not want this to be broken. I am afraid of losing it. I am afraid it will dissolve away. These are the feelings rising powerfully in your reading. At the same time, beneath the surface, there still lies the presence of complexities, truths that remain unexposed, entangled relationships, interwoven circumstances that have yet to be unraveled. It is precisely this complexity that leaves you both protective and fearful, eager to preserve and yet unsettled, yearning to maintain, but at the same time aware that something keeps you from feeling completely at ease. The energy of these cards mirrors your inner conflict vividly, a desire to protect while simultaneously feeling insecure, a yearning to hold on while fearing the shadow, the unspoken truth that you know still resides within the foundation of what you are guarding. I can sense so clearly that within your heart lies a powerful desire to protect, to safeguard something that matters deeply to you. You want it to endure, to last forever, to remain unbroken and unshattered. Inside you is a yearning to preserve this in a way that is steady and enduring, because it brings you safety, warmth, and a sense of peace. Yet alongside that desire, there also lingers a quiet, hidden fear, the fear that a certain truth may one day be exposed, the fear that what you have tried so hard to conceal, what you have not wanted to face directly, could be brought into the open. And if that day were to come, you fear that it would wound you, that it could break you down, that it might pierce right through your heart. Deep inside, you already know there is a part of reality that you have been avoiding, something you have chosen not to confront directly. For you, the very thought of facing it feels overwhelming, as if it would pull you in, drown you, rob you of control. This is exactly what the reading is pointing to. Let me go deeper to uncover the layers within this desire. The Knight of Wands appears, and I drew another card to shine more light. The accompanying cards here are the High Priestess, the Four of Cups, the Knight of Wands, and the Ten of Pentacles. When I look at this spread, one longing comes into focus with unmistakable clarity, You want to be cherished endlessly, to be loved, to be regarded as someone of importance and value. Or, on the other side of that same energy, it may be that you yourself long to give your devotion, to continue forever honoring, treasuring, and protecting something close to your heart. There is such a strong yearning within you, a cry that says, I want this to last. I want this never to fade. I want to remain here for a long, long time. Whether it is about a relationship or about your work, deep in the core of your soul, this is the desire that radiates through. You long for it to endure, to be preserved, to remain a constant presence in your life. But on another level of meaning, I also see an inner conflict surfacing. Because within you lies a fear. What if the truth comes out? What if one day something is exposed? What then? You worry that if others were to know the truth, they might leave you, they might grow to dislike you, or perhaps everything good that you have right now would vanish. You fear that all you have worked so hard to build could collapse. The energy of these cards shows that you are afraid of losing, afraid of no longer being loved, afraid of no longer being able to hold on to what you so desperately wish to preserve. And when I look at these two cards, I also feel another layer of meaning. It seems that you are being confined within a framework, unable to act differently, unable to challenge yourself, unable to dare to change. You feel as though, I cannot step out, I cannot try a new path, I cannot risk it. And yet, in another corner of your soul, there is a deep yearning to reveal yourself, to show who you truly are, to be seen, to be recognized, to be expressed fully. Furthermore, another reading that emerges from the spread is this. You may be in a space that is protective, an environment that allows you to feel safe, secure, shielded. And within that safety, two opposite emotions arise. On the one hand, you feel comforted, you want to remain there, you want to maintain that stability. Yet on the other hand, deep down, your longing may be to break free, to step outside, to test yourself in a new horizon. It is as if your heart is whispering, I want to escape. I want to find another way. But then, as you look around, fear grips you. You fear the reactions of those around you, fear their disapproval, fear the resistance you might meet. You fear that if you break away from what is, if you dare to change, then everything you have painstakingly built will come crashing down. And above all, you fear the gaze of others, fear the judgments, fear that if you step out, you will lose your protection, lose your support. That is why you remain standing within the circle of safety, caught between wanting to stay and yearning to leave, yet still held back, bound tightly by fear. It may be that among those of you drawn to this reading, some feel that you have not yet been able to reveal your true self, that you cannot fully show others the entirety of who you are inside. It is as though you are living within a shell, and that very shell makes you feel constrained, suffocated, as though the space around you is far too narrow compared to the vastness of your inner world. I can sense very clearly that some of you carry this contradiction deep within. And so, in this part of the reading, the interpretation also opens into many different directions, one of which is this. You deeply yearn to live fully, to do what you truly want, to burst forth and to be free to follow your own will. That may, in fact, be one of the most hidden wishes you long to manifest. Furthermore, when the Four of Cups appears, though at first I mentioned it as the fear that others might grow bored of you, might leave you, when I look more deeply, I see another meaning. It may be that you yourself are beginning to feel bored, uninspired, no longer excited by the situation, the environment, or even the relationship you find yourself in. It is as though you no longer feel lit up, no longer see freshness or renewal, and that leaves you with a sense of emptiness, of dullness, of everything fading into monotony. In such a case, these two cards are whispering that you are longing for new stimulation, that you are seeking a fresh breeze, a change, something that lies beyond the boundaries of your current comfort zone. It could be that you are yearning for another place, another environment, and a new space altogether, or it could be that you wish to remain where you are, but with the hope that this place itself could transform, bringing forth fresh emotions, renewed inspiration, and vibrant new energy. Thus, depending on each circumstance, the interpretation of these cards can branch into multiple directions. And that is exactly what I want to convey to you here. Your reading reflects not just one single path, but the many nuanced desires rising from within you, the desire for freedom, for truth, for a renewed spark, and for a life that feels fully alive. To bring greater clarity, I drew further oracle cards, and 3 of them appeared. When I look at them, a new wish rises into view with striking clarity. You carry within you a powerful longing to begin again, to start anew something that you once regretted. Earlier in the reading, there was already a card that spoke of healing and mending, and now this message is being affirmed once more. Inside your heart, an echoing desire resounds. I want to do it again. I want to repair what was broken. I want to return and rekindle what was once left unfinished. This may relate to a relationship that once fractured, or perhaps to a situation you allowed to pass by, something you let grow cold, but now, deep within, you still yearn for it to be healed, restored, restarted. These 3 oracle cards arise carrying the same resonance, as though they join together to weave a single image, all emphasizing the message of renewal, of starting over, of healing, of rekindling. Though each card bears its own distinct meaning, when they stand side by side they form a harmony, a shared melody, evoking the picture of you longing to create once more, to reignite something that once seemed extinguished. It is as though within you there was once a spark, something that had flared bright, but then it broke, it was lost, it fell away. And now you long for its return, you yearn for that flame to be lit again. I also recall that earlier the 4 of Wands appeared, a symbol of happiness, of union, of stability and solid foundation. Yet at the same time, there were also signs that this very foundation had cracked, that it had once collapsed, that it had been shattered. And it is precisely because of this that the yearning to restart, to rebuild, to not let it disappear forever, now emerges so strongly within this reading. All of this reveals that the deepest wish within you is to return, to begin again, to mend what has been lost, to once more find the happiness, the stability, and the peace that your heart has always longed for. I can sense that for some of you here, there is an intense yearning rising inside. I want to find a solution. I want to do something to change the situation I am in. It feels as though you are in a state where you cannot surrender. You do not wish to give up. You want to turn things around, to discover a way, to carve out a path that leads you out of the stagnation that surrounds you. At the same time, within this energy another wish becomes visible. Some of you are longing to be sheltered, to be protected, to be held in a safe space where you can feel supported, loved, and nurtured. Perhaps you are searching for an emotional refuge, or perhaps you already find yourself in an environment where you are protected and you want this to continue. You do not want it to be taken away. In an earlier part of the reading, the Queen of Pentacles appeared, the very embodiment of protection, of nurturing, of care and preservation. That energy is still echoing strongly here, showing that some of you truly yearn to be placed within protective arms, or at the very least, to feel that shield of safety woven into your life. And so, when I take in the whole picture, what I see is not just one singular direction, but many threads, many emotional states emerging together for you. Depending on each person's unique circumstances, the energy will reflect differently, shaping itself in its own way. What I want is for you to listen closely and to discern what resonates most deeply with your own situation, so that you can take in the message that belongs to you. There is also another layer of meaning here. Perhaps deep inside you are yearning to finally receive something in return. It feels as if a voice within you is quietly crying out, I have tried so hard already. I have given my best, I have endured, I have poured in so much effort, and I have come this far. Now, I want to be rewarded. I want to be acknowledged. I want to receive the fruits of everything I have invested. In this moment, the energy of the cards is showing that you are longing for fairness, for what is rightfully yours, for balance to be restored. This desire connects deeply to the possibility of turning what seems impossible into something possible. The reading is emphasizing that it is precisely in those moments when you feel everything has come to a dead end, when you believe this situation is truly over, that it could never happen again, that the chance has already slipped away, that the energy of healing suddenly appears, carrying with it a new light, a new ray of hope that begins to shine upon you. Yet it cannot be denied that among you, there are some who feel utterly despairing, as though everything is finished, as though hope no longer exists and there is nothing left to hold on to. And then, as the next cards emerge, they speak of turning points, of twists of fate, of those moments in life when change becomes necessary. It could be that right now you are standing at a great crossroads in your journey, at a point where a significant choice must be made. This is a time of decision, of an important turning of the wheel. The cards are urging, do not allow yourself to choose wrongly. Do not repeat the same mistaken choice of the past. At the same time, the energy evokes memories of earlier decisions. Perhaps you still carry regrets about something you once chose, and now you bear within your heart the deep desire to redo it, to make another choice, to return to that moment and change it. Thus, all of the energies that are surfacing here are circling around the yearning to resolve, the longing to protect, the deep desire to finally receive what is rightfully yours, the need to escape despair, and above all, the profound wish for a turning point. A breakthrough, an opportunity to make a wise choice so as not to repeat the very wounds that once caused you pain. Now let us move into what is becoming the barrier, the very obstacle that is standing in your way. And here, once again, the Seven of Swords emerges. This energy does not appear by chance. It is emphasizing that something remains hidden, something still concealed, not yet brought into the light. To illuminate this further, I drew another card to accompany the King of Swords, to shed clarity on the truth that lies beneath this barrier. What I see here is a layer of energy that is both powerful and deeply conflicted within. When I drew additional cards to clarify the Nine of Pentacles, the spread revealed the Seven of Swords, the Nine of Pentacles, alongside the Three of Cups, the King of Swords, and the Strength card. This entire combination brings a great deal of clarity about what has become the hindrance, the obstruction in your path at this very moment. First, the Seven of Swords appears once more, and as I mentioned earlier, this is a clear symbol of concealment, of things left unsaid, of truths being withheld and not fully expressed. It shows that there is something you cannot bring yourself to speak directly, or perhaps there is someone to whom you simply cannot dare to open your heart and reveal what lies inside. And this inability to speak, this silence, has grown into a wall, a formidable barrier that blocks your way forward. At the same time, I also sense a strong repression of energy. It is as if you are holding within yourself a force powerful enough to burst forth, to rise up, yet you cannot release it fully. If your energy could radiate at the level of 10, right now you are only allowing yourself to stop at 6. There is a limit, a self-imposed restraint, keeping you from living with the entirety of your strength, the fullness of your own potential. This image further emphasizes that you have been tending to hide yourself away, not wanting to be seen too clearly, not wishing to stand out, not ready to expose what truly lies in your heart. You are trying to live discreetly, to blend into the crowd, to keep anyone from noticing. In fact, on some level, the reading even suggests that you may be pretending in front of others, creating a mask, a layer of protection to shield your true self. Perhaps you are camouflaging, perhaps you are maintaining a certain image so that no one discovers your authentic nature or your real thoughts. This is a form of hiding, but at the same time, it brings with it a deep contradiction, because this very concealment makes you feel suffocated, as though your freedom has been stripped away. And then, when this energy is combined with the King of Swords and the Strength card, the message deepens even further. It becomes clear that you do have strength, you do have willpower, you do have capability, but you are not allowing it all to come forth. Within you are words you long to speak, desires you long to express, but instead, you are holding them back. And why is that? It may be because you fear how others will react, you fear confrontation, you fear judgment, you fear that once you reveal yourself, once you say what you truly want, your desires will not be accepted. Alongside this, the energy of the King of Swords points to correctness, to law, to standards and rules. It is as though you are under pressure from what is considered proper by society, what is accepted as right in the eyes of others, what the collective regards as the standard. And when you compare yourself against those norms, you feel as though you stand in opposition. What you think, what you yearn for, what you want to do does not flow in harmony with that established sense of rightness out there. And so, you cannot speak. You hold it back. You remain silent. Here, I can also see another layer of meaning. When placed alongside the Strength card, it feels as though you are caught in a power struggle of some kind. Perhaps within a relationship, within an environment, or within a specific situation, you sense yourself standing in a weaker position. It is as if, in that dynamic, your voice is not strong enough, you are overshadowed, pushed aside, or placed in a lesser role. The energy of this spread makes it clear, you are not fully showing your true strength. You are either yielding, stepping back, or being forced into a diminished stance. And this, in itself, has become an immense obstacle. In summary, the cards here reflect that your greatest barrier lies in suppression and concealment, not daring to speak openly, not daring to reveal yourself completely, not daring to shine with the fullness of your power. Alongside this, the fear of social judgment, the worry of rejection, and the feeling of being in a weakened position within a balance of power are all combining to make you bind yourself, to confine yourself, to limit your own expression. And this is the wall you must look straight at if you wish to step beyond it. I will now go deeper into the energy that is present here, because I can see very clearly that it carries a profoundly important message. When I drew further cards, what appeared were the Two of Cups, the Queen of Wands, the Page of Cups, the Eight of Swords, and the Ace of Wands. This combination reveals unmistakably that the greatest obstacle lies at the very beginning, at the point of initiation, at the threshold of starting something new. The challenge is not in carrying things forward once they are set in motion, but rather in taking that very first step, in opening the gateway to a new beginning. It is as though there is a restraint, an invisible thread binding you tightly, leaving you with the desire to start but frozen in place, unable to move, unable to take that crucial first step. And when I look at the Two of Cups together with the Queen of Wands, I immediately sense another layer of meaning. This may not apply to everyone, but for some of you, it comes through very strongly in connection with matters of love and relationships. It suggests that the person you are thinking about, the one you hold such deep feelings for, may in their heart still be giving attention to something or perhaps someone else. And whether this happens intentionally or unintentionally, it has become a barrier, an obstacle within the relationship. It leaves you feeling that no matter how much you long, no matter how much effort you put in, no matter how intensely you desire, you still cannot cross a certain threshold, you cannot break through a certain wall. The energy here makes it clear, as long as that presence exists, as long as that situation remains, the doorway to a beginning is blocked. As long as this energy lingers, you cannot start fully, you cannot open into a new chapter with wholeness. For those of you who find yourselves in this situation, the complexity within the relationship is undeniable. It is as though you are caught in a love that cannot begin, a feeling that cannot bloom, a current of emotion that is obstructed from flowing right from the very start. Even though within your heart there is such a strong yearning to open, to step forward, the reality feels like a flame being extinguished the moment it flickers into life. Even with the Page of Cups present, a symbol of innocence, of genuine affection, of that pure-hearted desire to give, it still does not resolve the blockage. The energy insists that even though there are feelings, even though there are wishes and longing, the connection cannot be fully complete. There remains a dissonance, a lack of smooth harmony, a lingering sense of not being able to merge entirely, of not being able to unite in the way your heart longs for. This energy is not confined to love alone. It can also be reflected in any other area of life, your career, your social connections, or even a personal project you are striving toward. Perhaps you have been wanting to rise higher, to reach the very top, to become the one who leads, yet there is always this lingering sense of being blocked. It feels as though you are perpetually held at second place, unable to grasp the number one position, no matter how much you long for it. You want to begin, you want to break through, but you find yourself stuck in a one-sided effort, in a situation where the reciprocity you hope for never comes, where the answer you long to hear remains silent. These very elements are what create the feeling of deadlock that the Eight of Swords reflects so vividly. The image of being bound, of being unable to move, of standing motionless, even though your heart is full of desire and yearning, comes strongly to the surface. And alongside that, the Ace of Wands, the card of beginnings, of creative spark, of the fire of new passion, appears stifled, restrained, as though the chance to ignite and burst forth is always right in front of you, yet still just out of reach, unable to be touched. As I drew further cards, 3 more emerged, shedding sharper light on what exactly is blocking your path. And here, the message becomes strikingly clear. One of the greatest obstacles lies in your inability to embrace joy naturally, to receive happiness in its fullness. There is something within that keeps you from truly allowing yourself to be happy, from wholeheartedly opening to blessings, from genuinely celebrating abundance. The energy evokes the presence of cards connected with blessings, with shared joy, with communal celebration, and yet you remain apart, unable to immerse yourself fully, unable to drink deeply of that joy. It is as though there is a gap, a crack in the heart, a dividing line that keeps you on the outside, only able to watch joy from a distance, unable to let your own heart leap and sing with it. All of this reflects one essential truth. You are yearning for a beginning, longing to step into something truly new, yet at the same time, both inner and outer obstacles are binding you, keeping you from breaking free with ease. And because of this, you have not yet been able to smile wholeheartedly, you have not yet been able to feel happiness in its entirety, you have not yet been able to walk fully into the new start your heart has been waiting for. This card brings with it a message that is very clear. Deep down, you long to be completely happy, you long to celebrate together with those around you, to share joy, to receive blessings wholeheartedly. Yet when this spread is read in the context of obstacles, the energy speaks of your inability to touch that, of your struggle to reach that joy. It is as if you are standing before a doorway to happiness, but the door remains closed, leaving you with the aching sense of being separated, unable to truly step inside. Alongside this, another card with the meaning of miracles also appears, yet here the energy conveys that in this moment, you feel as though that miracle has already closed off, that the opportunity has slipped through your fingers. Some of you may have whispered silently to yourselves, perhaps this is impossible, perhaps this dream can never be realized. It is as if you have already placed a period at the end of the sentence in your mind, believing that what you desire will never come to pass. And yet, despite that, there still lingers within you a quiet yearning, a hidden ember of desire that wants to turn things around, that wants to find a way to make the impossible possible. The greatest obstacle here is immobility. You are not acting, you are standing still, you are bound within waiting. The cards are pointing clearly to the tendency to nurture expectations, even illusions, even dreamscapes that grow larger and larger inside you, yet they are not being transformed into tangible action. You keep waiting for something to come from outside, hoping that if the other side takes the first step, if something unexpected happens, you will seize that chance. But you yourself remain unmoving, unable to take the first step by your own will. And that very stillness has turned into the wall that blocks you, the very hindrance that keeps you from moving closer to what you so deeply and truly long for. The energy here also shows that you are still carrying wounds within you that have not yet been healed. Perhaps you are still trapped in something from the past, unable to let go, unable to heal yourself, unable to move beyond it. Some of you may feel as though you are being dragged, pulled back by memories, by events that have never truly closed. Or it may be that there are truths you have never spoken aloud, things you continue to hold tightly within your heart, never daring to confess. When I look at these two cards together, I can clearly sense a strong inner urging. You want to speak, you want to release, you want to express everything so that you can feel lighter, so that your spirit can finally rest in peace. But the very fact that you cannot speak, cannot reveal, cannot free yourself has become a great obstacle, like a heavy stone blocking your path, preventing you from moving forward. And now we come to the next part. Will your wish come true or not? When I drew further, the Five of Pentacles appeared, and I continued to pull additional cards to bring more light to the message. Alongside it came the Ten of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, and the Page of Cups. The very first impression I received upon seeing this combination was a message of release. You will only be able to come closer to your wish if you dare to walk away from something, if you dare to break free from the captivity of your current state. The Five of Pentacles, by its nature, is the card of loss, of abandonment, of separation and exclusion. Yet beside it stands the Ten of Pentacles, the symbol of fullness, of completion, of abundance, of family, of prosperity, and accompanying these are the two pages, one of earth and one of water, each representing new beginnings. The spirit of learning, growth, and unfolding potential. This grouping together tells a story that is very profound. Though you may feel cast aside, though you may feel bereft or locked out, there is still the possibility of stepping into wholeness, of stepping into abundance, of opening the door to stability and joy. But the key lies in daring to loosen your grip on what has already wounded you, to release what binds you, so that the path toward that fullness and toward that new chapter may truly open. This combination is speaking clearly, as though it is telling you, if you can find the courage to walk away, if you can accept the act of letting go of what has been holding you captive, then you will open the doorway to something far greater, toward fulfillment, toward abundance, toward a pure and radiant new beginning. Your wish will indeed be realized, but not by clinging tightly to what is here now, not by remaining bound to what keeps you stuck. It will be realized only when you dare to step away, when you dare to release, when you choose to move forward from the very thing that has kept you trapped. And when you can do that, the new path will unfold before you, leading you toward the healing and the joy that you have been searching for all this time. I feel it very clearly. What you are wishing for is not something that will manifest instantly, not something that comes simply because you wish for it, not the kind of desire that materializes with the blink of an eye. The cards that have appeared here are all carrying the energy of the pages, symbols of beginnings, of the early stages of a journey. This shows that in order to reach your wish, you must hold firmly onto the original flame, to the raw, sincere emotion that you carried at the very moment you first began to long for it. Do not let time or hardship erode that spark. Do not allow circumstances to wear away your yearning. Remember why you started. Remember what called your heart in the first place. Let your faith and your steadfastness be the guiding light, for it is only through unwavering belief that you will remain standing until the end. Only through constancy of spirit that your journey will carry you to the fulfillment of your heart's true desire. The cards whisper further that if you truly want to give shape to this, if you truly want to bring it into reality, then you must act from a place of faith and steadfastness. And here, an important message emerges. You cannot have everything. You will have to choose. In choosing one path, you may have to let go of something else. That may mean the loss of a relationship. It may mean sacrificing someone's trust. It may mean walking away from something you have once built with your own hands. The energy of the reading is very clear. You cannot hold everything at once. You cannot keep clinging to all that you have while still moving forward. There will be things that must be released. There will be things you must part with. And if you truly desire to see this wish fulfilled, then you must have the courage to accept that sacrifice. When I drew another card to bring deeper clarity, the King of Pentacles appeared, along with the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords. This trio reinforces the message once again. The time has come for you to be strong, to be decisive, to be willing to cut away, to sever ties with what no longer serves your path. The sharpness, determination, and fearless spirit of the Knight of Swords combines with the steadfastness, diligence, and enduring commitment of the Knight of Pentacles to create a dual message. You must be firm and unyielding in order to make decisive choices, while also cultivating patience and persistence to sustain the journey in the long run. Because the truth is, there will be another chance. There will be a return of opportunity, of a rebirth, a moment to reconcile or to repair. But it will only arrive once you have truly cleared the path, once you have fully prepared yourself to receive it. The cards speak with certainty. The opportunity will come again. You will once more be handed a chance. But the vital point is that you must be unwavering and internally prepared. You will need not only faith, but also a kind of resolution, a steel-like determination, an active commitment paired with patience, a willingness to build step by step, brick by brick. That is the force that will guide you to your result. That is the energy that will lead you to the fulfillment of what you desire. In addition, the appearance of the Nine of Pentacles echoes a message I had sensed earlier. You are surrounded by a protective energy, a form of shelter or guardianship that is always with you, or perhaps you are in an environment that makes you feel safe, secure, and cared for. It is as though you are being held in a space where you feel protected, and that itself gives you a source of strength to keep moving forward. Yet at the same time, this can also become the very comfort zone that holds you back, the place that makes you hesitate, that keeps you from daring to step beyond its walls. And once again, the reading emphasizes, what you need now is the courage to step out of that safety, to take action rooted in faith and decisive choice, for only then can your wish begin to take form. I can feel very clearly here that at present you do have happiness, you do have joys, you do experience moments that warm your heart, that soothe you, that nourish your spirit. But when viewed through the lens of this reading, where I am looking into your wish, into what you truly long to attain, another truth becomes illuminated. What you currently have, what you are presently holding on to, does not seem to be enough to meet the depth of your real desire. The happiness you are yearning for, the fulfillment you are seeking, cannot be fully found within the circumstances you are standing in now. And deep down, you already know this. You sense within yourself that if you remain still, if you stay where you are, you will never reach the joy that your heart truly longs for. And this is why the energy of the card carries such a clear message. You must act, you must change, you must choose. Decision and forward movement will be the very key that unlocks the door, allowing your dream to finally step into reality. When I drew further to shed light on the Judgment card, something miraculous occurred. The lovers appeared. This is an immensely powerful sign. For Judgment itself is the card of rebirth, of second chances, of being given the opportunity to repair, to begin anew, to live in a way that is more complete and more true to your heart. And when it comes together with the lovers, the message becomes even more undeniable. What you long for, what you deeply desire, has every possibility of being fulfilled. This is the card of choice, of union, of alignment between two sides. It reveals that you may indeed be granted the chance to choose again, to once more make a vital decision, to seize the opportunity of connection or reconciliation. At the same time, the energy speaks clearly. This is not only about you choosing, it is also about you being chosen. Between the two, there will be a reciprocity, a harmony, a meeting of hearts and souls, each choosing the other in return. And when that moment arrives, you will feel with undeniable clarity that the doorway to your wish is swinging open right before your eyes. And when I drew further to illuminate the Nine of Pentacles, the message became even brighter. You are being guided, led by the universe, by destiny, or by forces far greater than yourself. You are being taken along the path you were always meant to walk, the path that has been laid out for you from the very beginning. And so, the message here is this: do not resist, do not struggle against it, do not try to force yourself to go against the current that is already carrying you. Instead, surrender. Allow yourself to be carried along by that flow. For when you release the resistance, when you trust, when you let that guidance lead you forward, You will be brought to the very place your heart has been longing for all along. And when the oracle cards appeared, they continued to cast light upon the very root of the matter. 3 cards emerged, and the first one bore the name Fear. This reveals that before you can truly move forward, before you can grasp your wish and bring it into form, you must confront and resolve the fear within. Perhaps you are afraid of loss, afraid of rejection, afraid of being hurt, afraid that what you long for will once again slip away, dissolve, or vanish from your hands. That fear is like an invisible chain binding you, preventing you from taking the next step. And the message of this card is crystal clear. You cannot continue to let fear hold you back. This is the time when you must face it directly, name it, acknowledge it, and then move beyond it. Only when you do this can you truly open the door for your wish to take shape. Only then can the road ahead unfold wide and luminous, filled with promise. I see it very clearly here. The very thing that keeps you from walking forward, that keeps you from advancing, that keeps you from making your wish a reality, lies in this fear buried deep within. You are afraid of something, you are anxious. You are bound by a root that is profoundly fundamental. And it is this very fear that has been the cause of your inaction, the reason why you have not stepped forth, the reason why you have not been able to reach out and claim the desire that has been burning within you. The reading shows this point with clarity. This is the core. This is the key. This is why you have not been able to draw your wish toward you, why it has not yet manifested, because at the deepest level, you are still being held captive by fear. At the same time, another card appeared, the Merchant. The message here is about exchange, about giving and receiving. It speaks clearly. If you wish to receive, then first you must give. If you want to welcome blessings into your life, you must first open your arms and extend yourself outward. This is not only about material matters, but also about energy, about emotions, about actions. The reading emphasizes that you must cultivate a spirit that is ready to offer, ready to share, ready to give a part of yourself away so that in return, you can truly receive what you long for. Perhaps you are afraid of giving, afraid of opening, afraid of offering, afraid of surrendering, afraid of losing. And it is this very fear that has turned into a wall, a barrier preventing you from moving closer to your wish. Following this, the card of Truth emerges. This is a profoundly strong reminder. It shows that within you there is a part that is not entirely honest with yourself. Perhaps you have spoken untruths to others, or perhaps, even more deeply, you have been deceiving yourself, covering over, denying a truth that lies within your own heart. But this card tells you clearly, the time has come to face it, to sit with it, to dare to have a direct and open conversation with your own soul. You need resolution, you need courage, you need to make a solemn and sincere vow to yourself. I will live truthfully. I will dare to live my own life. That is the steadfastness, that is the strength, that is the inner power you must awaken in order to turn your wish into reality. The reading also reveals that in essence, your desire is not something impossible. The energy here does not say that your wish will not come true. On the contrary, it shows that it absolutely can. But in order to achieve it, you must act. You must take steps rooted in faith, in decisiveness, in determination that has been forged deep within. You must release what needs to be released, sever ties with what no longer belongs to you, and choose to walk upon the path illuminated by your own unwavering belief. In addition, these 3 cards also reveal that support, assistance, and guidance from outside will come to you at the very moment you truly need it. If circumstances press you into a place where you require help, it will appear, it will find its way to you. But in order to be able to receive that support, you must live truthfully, you must face reality, you must stop avoiding or running away. The universe will uphold you, but only when you dare to be honest, when you dare to open your heart, when you dare to act according to your faith and the true courage within you. So, the answer to the question, will this wish of yours become reality, is that it is not denied. It is not impossible. But to achieve it, you must do your part. You must step forward, you must face your fear, you must have that conversation with yourself, you must act with conviction and with trust in your path. And when you do that, the way forward will unfold. The path toward the fulfillment of your wish will open before your very eyes. I will bring the reading for those of you who chose Pile 2 to a close here. Thank you for staying with me until the very end of this reading. I look forward to meeting you again in the next readings to come. Hello to those of you who chose Pile 3. Thank you for waiting, and now I will begin the reading for those who selected Pile number 3. My wish is that this spread brings you healing, new awareness, and moments filled with love and tenderness. With the theme being what you have always longed for, what you have always desired from the depths of your heart, can it truly become reality? First, let us take a look at your present situation. The very first card to appear is the Knight of Swords, and I drew an additional card to shed more light upon it. When I look at the full picture of the 4 cards that are laid out here, I sense that some of you at this moment are carrying within your heart a strong feeling of wanting to escape, of wanting to break free, as though you only wish to turn your back and walk away. The energy shows very clearly the urge, the restless drive to distance yourself from something. And yet, at the same time, there is a binding force that accompanies this, almost as though you know deep inside, I have already chosen, I have already decided, and now I cannot turn back anymore. Even if I want to run, I still must see it through to the end. Beyond that, the reading reveals another layer of meaning. It may be that recently you have done something or spoken some words that now you regret. Inside, there is an echo repeating phrases like, if only I had not done that. If only I had not said those words. And along with this, I see in you a feeling of loneliness, as though you are standing in a situation where you feel isolated, where you feel cut off from others, misunderstood, not received with compassion, with no one who truly grasps what is within your heart. And all of this together has left you carrying a heavy weight of responsibility. You feel as though you must bear the burden, that you must take accountability for what has happened, no matter how heavy it feels. To bring more clarity, I continued by drawing an additional card for the 6 of Cups. And as I went deeper, the energy revealed itself as this. You are carrying a deep uncertainty about the future. You are worried, you are confused, you feel unsure. What lies ahead? Where will all of this lead? That insecurity has become a restless shadow that keeps you from finding peace. When I combine the 6 of Cups with the 7 of Cups and the 9 of Swords, I see so clearly the image of thoughts repeating themselves over and over in your mind, creating a constant unease, leaving you unsure of what your future will hold. This worry at times presses down on you so heavily that you simply want to stop thinking altogether, to let everything go, to forget it all. And yet, what is striking is that within this combination, the Sun appears, a card so radiant, so promising, one that usually brings light, joy, clarity, and liberation. But in the context of your current energy, it reveals another side. You may be longing for release so deeply that all you want is to forget everything, to not think any further, to erase all traces of regret, to leave behind what has been weighing on your heart. At the same time, the reading shows that within you there is still an ache, still a lingering sense of sorrow, of regret for something that has already happened. This becomes even clearer with the arrival of the Phoenix card. The Phoenix is, of course, the eternal symbol of rebirth, of rising again from the ashes, but here it also mirrors a profound regret, regret for what you did or did not do, regret for what you said or left unsaid. You ask yourself, where did I go wrong? What did I miss? To bring sharper understanding, I drew once more and justice appeared. This reveals 2 possibilities. The first is that you yourself may feel as though you made a wrong judgment, a mistaken choice, a decision that has left you filled with remorse. Or, on another level, you may be awaiting a judgment, a decision from the outside, perhaps from someone else, or from a specific circumstance over which you do not have the power to decide on your own. And when I connect with the energy of the 6 of Cups, I can see clearly that something here is bound to be decided, something will be determined. Some of you are in a state of waiting for an answer, waiting for someone else's choice. For others, there is the sense of wanting to hand over the decision, as though you are saying, you decide and I will accept. And within you, the greatest longing right now is to have the haze lifted, to have clarity where there has been confusion, so that you no longer have to carry this weight, this restlessness, this lingering sorrow and regret in your heart. The whole energy here reveals that you are standing at the boundary between regret and the yearning for release. You want, at the same time, to forget everything, to wipe away the heaviness of the past, but also to see the truth plainly, to have a decisive choice made so that your heart can finally be at peace and so that you can move forward. I drew a few more oracle cards to shine deeper light on this, and the energy that came forth shows that you may indeed be in a waiting state. It feels as if you are anticipating news, waiting for a result, waiting for a message from someone. Inside, there is this quiet anxiousness, a restless expectation that something will come, though you're uncertain when it will arrive. The first oracle card that appeared was called the Victim Mindset, and it reflects your current situation very vividly. Perhaps you have been blaming yourself, tormenting yourself, feeling as though you have done something wrong. Some of you here are whispering inside, I shouldn't have done that. I made everything worse. I've placed myself in a difficult situation. This state of mind makes it easy for you to spiral into self-blame, into cycles of self-accusation. Yet the reading reminds you that when the sun appeared, it carried with it a message. The issue is not nearly as severe as you imagine. It is not as heavy as your mind has made it out to be. But because you think so much, analyze so much, turn it over again and again in your head, you yourself have made it feel more burdensome, more weighty than it truly is. In addition, the card bearing the message "the changing winds" has appeared. It shows that perhaps until recently, things seemed to be moving smoothly, flowing in a way that felt fairly stable, but now you sense a shift, a change in the current. You feel as though the wind itself has shifted direction. This may not simply be about circumstances altering beyond your control, but rather a reminder that you, too, are being called to change, to turn, to search for a new path. It is not only that something good was flowing and then shifted, it is also a message that the time has come for you to actively redirect your own course. You may need an adjustment, a reorientation, or even a complete turning point. The spread also shows clearly an energy of loneliness. That image has appeared before, and now it arises once more. You may be feeling that you are alone, as if separated from others, feeling adrift, unseen, not truly understood or shared with by anyone. And once again, the energy of waiting emerges strongly, the waiting for a reply, the waiting for a result, the waiting for a message. This becomes like an invisible thread that ties you down within a circle of restlessness, making it difficult for you to move forward. Now, we step into the important part, your wish, the very thing your heart longs to see fulfilled. The Three of Pentacles appears, and I drew further cards to bring more clarity. Alongside it, the Six of Cups also emerged, and I continued to pull more. The result revealed a very special combination: the Star, the Six of Cups, the Seven of Cups, the Three of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands. This makes it unmistakably clear that you are holding on to a wish that is vast, powerful, and enduring. The Star reflects a faith, a dream that has been nurtured for a long time, perhaps for many years, a longing that you have carried in your heart without cease. You have desired it, you have waited for it, you have thought about it, you have cradled it within yourself for so long. It is not a fleeting want, but a yearning that has taken deep root in your soul. And the appearance of the Six of Cups further affirms that this wish is tied to memories, to the past, to things once promised, once shared. It may be a vow made by someone, a bond that once existed, or a memory you have never been able to forget. You are longing for it to return, to be sustained, to become reality. Within you, the questions echo again and again. Will what I once wished for finally come? Will what I have been waiting for truly manifest? Will I receive the response, the commitment, the keeping of the promise I have been yearning for? When the Seven of Cups appears alongside the Six of Cups, it reveals yet another layer. You long to receive, you long to be given, you long to embrace, but within your heart there is also uncertainty. You feel a lack of confidence. Am I worthy enough to receive this? Am I capable of truly holding it once it comes? You desire to be offered this blessing, to have it placed in your hands, but at the same time you worry that it might be nothing more than an illusion, that what you long for could vanish like a dream the moment you try to touch it. Finally, the Knight of Wands appears, like a flame urging you forward. It symbolizes passion, fiery energy, the burning desire to rise, to chase, to pursue with everything you have. It shows that you do not merely wish in silence, but you are yearning to act, to be driven, to chase this dream with your full strength. Its energy speaks as if saying, if you truly long for this, then move forward, dare to ignite yourself fully for it, dare to let yourself burn brightly in its pursuit. The entire combination reflects one undeniable truth. Your wish is not a fleeting desire, not a passing whim, but a long-lived dream, a deep-rooted faith bound to memory, to the past, to promises, and to connection. Yet along with it, you also carry unease within you, a lack of confidence, a fear that this dream may never come to fruition. And here is where the reading speaks directly to you. Hold on to your flame, for this longing carries true worth. It has lived in your heart for far too long to be denied. What I sense here is the insecurity within you about your wish. You ask yourself, will what I long for truly become real? Can this dream actually be reached? And with that comes the recognition that you are lacking faith, lacking certainty. Deep inside, you already know there are aspects of this desire that lie beyond your own power, beyond your own initiative alone. There are other elements intertwined, especially the emotions, the choices, the actions of someone else. In other words, there are parts of this dream that, no matter how much effort you pour in, you cannot manifest solely by yourself, for it also depends upon the resonance, the response, or the openness of another heart. When looking at the next two cards, the energy that emanates is unmistakable. You are longing for something to be remembered, to be held onto. You quietly wonder, do they still remember? Do they still carry within their heart what once was? Do they truly keep it etched inside? Within you, waves of unease rise, uncertainty about whether the feelings, the bonds that once existed, are still being preserved or have already been erased. This ambiguity stirs in you a deep yearning for a clear answer. You want to see the truth, to know precisely, to hear or to feel something definite so that you no longer have to live in this in-between state, suspended between doubt and hope. Your wish reveals itself so clearly. It is the longing for emotions to be transformed into action. You do not want feelings, thoughts, or memories to remain hidden away in someone's mind. You want them to manifest, to be expressed through gestures, through words, through concrete actions. You want someone not only to think, but to act, not only to hold something in their heart, but to bring it forth into the open. At a deeper level, what you crave is to see what you desire take form in reality, to become something tangible, something lived, and not remain only within imagination or fragile hope. And then, as I continued to draw, the Knight of Swords appeared once again, powerfully underlining the energy of forward movement, of an explosive surge, of an assertion that breaks through and rushes ahead. Alongside it, two cards of immense weight revealed themselves, the Moon and the Queen of Cups. The Moon unveils an image of veiling, of obscurity, of uncertainty, of doubt. You do not know clearly what is happening. You do not know what the other person is thinking, what they are feeling. Perhaps you do not even have a way to reach them, or perhaps you are waiting for a response without knowing whether it will ever come. And it is precisely this veil, this fog, that fuels your hunger for light all the more, that sharpens your yearning to know, that heightens your desire for truth to finally be revealed. The Queen of Cups brings forth a current of gentle, tender, deeply emotional energy. It shows that your wish is bound to the longing to be understood, to be shared with, to be loved, to be met with empathy. You yearn for a connection of hearts, to give and to receive affection with softness, to experience a profound merging on the level of emotion. It also reveals that for some of you, there lies within your heart the wish for reunion, to meet someone once more, to rekindle a relationship, to once again see the gaze, the smile, to exchange feelings face to face in a way that is tangible and real. Accompanying this is the Two of Cups, a card that symbolizes union, love, and mutual understanding between two souls. It declares with clarity that deep down, your wish is to be cherished, to be connected, to be part of a partnership where love does not flow from only one side. You long for balance, for harmony, for a bond in which both are looking toward each other, both are choosing one another wholeheartedly. Altogether, this combination reveals that your deepest wish is the desire for clarity, for certainty within matters of the heart. You long to know that you are remembered, that you are still being held within someone's heart. You long to see love made manifest through actions, to experience reunion, or to receive affirmation that the bond between you is still alive with empathy and affection. And above all, what you most desire is to break free from ambiguity, to release the fear of not knowing what the truth really is, and to once again live fully in the clarity, the transparency, and the authenticity of love. Continuing with these two cards, the energy that rises up shows me very clearly that within your heart lies a powerful yearning. You want to know, you want to see with your own eyes, you want to touch the truth of those feelings that are still veiled in ambiguity. You want to know precisely, to understand fully what that love, that emotion truly is, what the other person is truly thinking, what they are truly feeling. And this wish of yours does not stop at simply wanting clarity. It is bound to a deeper longing, that what you discover will be love directed toward you, that the truth you uncover will lead you to the Two of Cups, a bond, an understanding, a union of love. Within yourself, you whisper, I wish that they are thinking of me too, that they still hold a place for me in their heart. I hope they still remember. Please remember me. Please do not forget. This is the very root of your wish, an intense desire to be remembered, to be held within someone's memory, to be cherished and valued, to have their heart turned toward you. This gives the entire reading the flavor of love, of connection between two souls. Yet I also see that for some of you, this story may not lie in the realm of romance, but rather in work, in career, or in another kind of relationship. And in such cases, the message still holds its truth. You are yearning for recognition, for understanding, for someone to turn toward you, to see you, to accept you, to receive you. It is not only about affirmation in the mind, but also about acceptance in the heart. What you long for is for someone to open themselves to you, to return to you resonance and sharing, to grant you a genuine recognition that flows directly from their soul. To shed further light, I drew 3 oracle cards. And what makes this moment truly special is the first card that appeared, titled Moving Forward. It reflects that your deepest desire is not merely about holding on to the past, but rather about wishing for everything to keep flowing, to be urged onward, to advance. You long for what you have been holding, what you have been yearning for, to progress, to step into a new stage. The energy here also suggests that within you lies a craving for renewal, for a fresh breeze, for a sense of rejuvenation either in love or along your personal journey. The next card that came forth is the Arrow. This unveils a powerful longing. You want someone to turn their head toward you, to capture their gaze, their attention, their care. Although the original meaning of this card does not completely align with this interpretation, in this context it resonates as a message that says, I want to be the only one in their eyes. I want to choose this path and this one alone, and walk it all the way to the end. This energy is not confined to matters of love. It can also be mirrored in your work or career. It speaks of a burning aspiration to devote your entire strength to a single goal, to one choice, to tread the path you believe in without allowing yourself to be distracted. And then, the final oracle card revealed itself, the Master, the Teacher. Yet within this deck, it also carries the symbolic meaning of death. This unveils a deeper layer within your heart's desire. You are searching for a guide, a source of illumination, someone of such depth and stature that you can trust, respect, and follow. This could be an archetype, a figure you look up to, someone you long to accompany or encounter. But it does not stop at the image of a teacher and a student. It also carries the resonance of a companion, a life partner, a soul confidant, a counterpart, a teacher, a friend, and a lover, all woven together into one single presence. You yearn for someone who is strong enough to shelter you, profound enough for you to lean on, and at the same time someone into whom you can pour your feelings, your trust, and your lifelong devotion. The overall energy of this spread speaks of a wish that is profoundly human, deeply emotional. It does not revolve around achieving something grand or monumental, but instead it turns toward connection. You long to be understood, to be remembered, to be loved, to be recognized, to be someone who receives both the gaze and the heart of another. At the same time, you also hope that these things will not remain stagnant, but must move forward, must grow, must renew themselves, and ultimately lead you to a bond that is genuine, profound, and enduring, whether that be love, or a true companion you have always been waiting for. I can sense very clearly that what you are searching for is not confined merely to romantic love. On a deeper level, you are yearning for a companion who can grow alongside you, rise with you, a kind of partner who helps you refine yourself, elevate yourself, so that each day you feel you are progressing a little more, maturing a little further, and in turn gaining the courage to take the next step forward. And now, moving into the next part of the reading, let us look at what is becoming an obstacle at this present time. The cards that appear here are the Hanged Man, the Six of Pentacles, and the Hermit. The very first sensation that comes rushing through is that there is something tied to sacrifice, as though you are placing yourself in a position of bearing the loss, pouring everything out, giving, devoting, caring, worrying, tending, and if you find this resonates, then it is precisely this current of sacrifice that is becoming a knot, a blockage. At the same time, the Hermit speaks of a quest, seeking what aligns with your heart, searching for answers, for direction. And here, these two cards carry a layer of meaning that resonates with one another. You are searching for a presence that can help you mature, or, for many of you where this story does not perfectly align, the obstacle lies in having to move through a sense of loss, a disappointment that once happened and now still lingers in your heart, still remains, still weighs you down whenever you recall it. When I look at the Hanged Man and the Hermit standing side by side, the image that arises is as if you are in a shadowed place, a dim zone, where one can only keep asking, when will I finally step out of here? When will I dare to let go of that self-sacrificial way of living? When will I stop enduring, stop holding myself so tightly together? There is something binding there, something that clings and pulls, making it hard for you to release your grasp. For example, perhaps you are taking care of someone, carrying the weight of supporting or nurturing them, bearing a very heavy responsibility on behalf of another, or, more simply, you may be engaging in something that is wearing you down, draining your time, your energy, your emotions, and yet you do not know how to stop. Let me take this one step deeper. I draw an additional card to bring more clarity to the Emperor. The cards that come forth to illuminate the Emperor are the Two of Wands, the Five of Cups, and the Seven of Swords. Looking at this combination, the feeling circles back to the very same axis, You are having to suppress what you truly wish to do, as though there is a plan, a path, a doorway standing open right before you, the Two of Wands, yet your heart is pulled back into sorrow, into regret, into what has been lost, the Five of Cups, and because of that, you end up choosing endurance, resignation, even having to maneuver, to twist yourself in order to adapt within the limits that exist, the Seven of Swords. All of these strands weave together into one simple yet powerful statement. There is a part of you that already longs to step out, that already wants to act according to your own will, but another part still binds itself into the role of sacrifice, of carrying the weight, and that is why the sense of having to hold back, to endure further, arises. I see with striking clarity that here still lies something of endurance, a prolonged form of restraint, and it is precisely this that has become the greatest obstacle standing on the path you wish to take forward. With the Seven of Swords, I sense that within you there is a burden, a secret, something deeply personal and difficult to speak of to anyone, as though there is truly no one by your side with whom you can fully share this emotion. Following that comes the appearance of the Emperor alongside the Two of Wands, and this combination reveals a feeling that you cannot escape from the responsibilities you are carrying. When the Emperor is placed next to the Six of Pentacles, the image becomes even clearer. This is the position of someone in authority, of the one who stands in power, perhaps the one who hires, assigns, or directs others. If this detail does not match your specific situation, then take it in the way that resonates most with your own story. But on the broader level, what these cards are pointing to is that you are in a position where complete freedom is difficult to attain, or you are being constrained by someone who holds power, someone whose influence directly weighs upon your life and your personal time. For instance, if you are already married, then your partner, or a closely bonded relationship of that nature, could also be the very factor making it difficult for you to carve out a space of your own. Coming to the Five of Cups, ordinarily this is the card that represents loss and disappointment, but in this reading it reveals far more clearly the image of endurance. It is as if there are things you long for, desires you deeply yearn to claim, and yet you are not permitted to be the one to take them first. Instead, you step back, you set them aside for someone else, or you hand them over. This is sacrifice, the very act of placing your own needs and wishes to the side that I mentioned earlier. And it is precisely this pattern that becomes a major obstacle, preventing you from moving forward, leaving you feeling deprived and silently enduring within. I also drew additional oracle cards to shed more light on what is obstructing you. The 3 oracle cards that appeared came forth as a powerful confirmation that you are bound by responsibility. Somewhere in your life, you feel compelled to be present, compelled to remain because of duty, obligation, or because of the role you hold within a relationship, within your work, or within certain circumstances. You cannot simply brush it aside, break it apart, or walk away, because within you lies the conviction that you must be there, that you must shoulder this responsibility. And it is precisely this sense of obligation that makes freedom feel so distant, so far out of reach. Perhaps you have dreams, plans, destinations you long to reach, yet you are held back, unable to freely follow the call of your heart. Or maybe there are visions you want to paint, things you wish to build and bring into form, but in the end you find yourself only able to watch from a distance, observing rather than truly stepping in and living within them fully. It is like standing before a beautiful painting, allowed only to gaze upon it, but never to enter, never to immerse yourself in its world, never to make it a reality. This is the very difficulty, the very barrier that the spread is illuminating for you, the sense of being bound, of having to carry, of having to sacrifice, while deep inside you long for freedom, for a space where you can truly be yourself. Next appears the card that represents fear. Here it manifests as anxiety, unease, worries that quietly linger within. Yet what stands out even more strongly to me is the sense of loneliness. It is not simply fear or insecurity, but a deep solitude, a sadness born of feeling that no one truly understands you, no one truly walks beside you. And it is precisely this loneliness that rises as a clear obstacle in this reading. Now I turn to the message about your heart's desire to see whether what you long for, what you deeply wish for, can indeed become reality. When I drew a clarifying card for the King of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles appeared alongside it. And so the spread that unfolds here is the King of Pentacles, the Lovers, the Queen of Swords, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Two of Wands. This spread conveys an unmistakable message, a lasting happiness, a fulfillment that can endure through time, a state of true contentment and abundance is awaiting you ahead. Within these cards, what stands out most vividly is the image of a relationship of companionship, You will no longer be alone, but will have a life partner, a counterpart, a soulmate walking beside you. For those of you who have prayed, who have long wished for such a bond, this reading affirms that it is gradually taking shape, drawing closer into reality. The appearance of the Queen of Swords here carries a particularly significant meaning. You are entering a phase where you must learn to draw clear boundaries, to state openly what you want, to express your views and your thoughts directly, without hiding them away. This is the very moment when your voice is heard, when your will and your stance are respected by others. The card comes as a message that when you dare to speak, when you dare to assert your will, then the path leading to that enduring happiness will open before you with greater clarity. And as I look at the Nine of Pentacles together with the Two of Wands, I see a profound transformation. In the past, there were choices you let slip away, decisions you could not make, opportunities you could not seize. But now you will hold the power to choose for yourself. You will be granted the right to move toward the places you once yearned for, to freely realize the things you have long desired. From being bound and constrained, you will gradually step into a state that is far more expansive, filled with freedom, where you are able to live true to the intentions of your own heart. In summary, this spread reveals that fear and loneliness are the very obstacles you are now facing. Yet, if you dare to speak up, if you dare to assert yourself, you will open the path that leads toward a lasting and enduring happiness with a true companion, while also gaining the freedom to choose, to act, and to live in alignment with the deepest wishes of your heart. What I see next does not fully coincide with the traditional meaning of the card, but it brings forth a very special message, the image of someone coming to meet you. It feels like a welcoming and awaited arrival. This person could be someone you have already met in your life, or they could be entirely new, someone who has not yet stepped into your world. But what is certain is that this is the very kind of presence you have yearned for in your heart, the one you have prayed to encounter, the one you have wished would come stand by your side. And this reading affirms that they will indeed come, they will truly step toward you. So you can rest assured, you can allow yourself to soften, because a state of safety, of peace, of stability is gradually opening before you. Even if right now you may feel lonely, carrying everything on your own, enduring it all in silence, that period of time will gradually fade away. That feeling of having to fight alone will no longer persist. Because here, it is very clear, the image arises of someone who will truly draw near, truly stand beside you and walk with you. That person is the very presence you have been waiting for, the one who will bring warmth to the empty spaces of your heart. To deepen the understanding, I drew additional clarifying cards for the Two of Swords and the Six of Swords. And what's fascinating is that the Queen of Swords appeared here. This card carries a very powerful message, reminding you that there will come a time when you must say goodbye, when you must part ways with situations, relationships, or circumstances that are no longer aligned, no longer resonating with who you are. It speaks of consciously choosing to let go of what has grown outdated or incompatible in order to open the door to a new path. I can sense so clearly that within your heart, you have already been yearning for this, a desire to break free from what binds you, to step into another realm, another adventure, a brand new beginning filled with excitement and vitality. Alongside this, the Eight of Wands also emerges, radiating an energy of swift, sudden, and powerful transformation. It emphasizes that very soon, events will accelerate, situations will shift rapidly, and everything will begin to move in a positive direction. Your life may encounter a major turning point, a clear and undeniable transition, and you will feel this change not just in your thoughts, but in the very rhythm of your daily breath. These two cards together highlight something deeply important. The journey of seeking that you have been on for so long is finally reaching its response. That which you have been searching for tirelessly, that which you have been longing and yearning for, will be revealed to you. This is the time of discovery, of finding, of revelation. Moreover, it also signifies that all of your efforts, your training, your accumulated experiences up until now will begin to bear tangible fruit, yielding real and meaningful results. And when I look deeper, I see yet another message. You will no longer be trapped in hesitation or lost in fear of making the wrong choice. Instead, you will step into clarity, wisdom, and decisive action. You will know exactly what you want, which path you must follow, and you will walk forward without doubt, with certainty in your steps. Finally, I also drew additional oracle cards to bring further clarity to the message. 3 cards appeared, and among them, the one that stood out most was the card named Chaos. But I must emphasize here, it does not carry any negative or frightening implication at all. This is not the kind of chaos that leaves you disoriented or lost, but rather a form of creative chaos, like a strong wind sweeping through to clear away what has grown old, to rearrange what has been out of place, and to open the path for a new beginning. It is the necessary disruption, the cleansing storm, the purifying upheaval that allows you to emerge steadier, clearer, and ready to step forward into the new journey with a heart unburdened, light, and full of anticipation. As I gaze at this card, the first impression that arises does not exactly coincide with its traditional meaning. Instead, it is transmitting a special message about connection. What shines through here is an image of bonding, of companionship, of a profound tie that is forming in your life. This may very well be the one whom people often call destiny, a powerful karmic connection that you cannot easily turn away from. I sense a bond that is profoundly deep, almost like an urging from the universe itself, a sign that this destined connection will come, that it will manifest in your life. And if you have been carrying within your heart a wish for such a connection, the cards reveal that this wish is destined to be fulfilled. For those of you who are longing to meet a true companion, someone to walk alongside you, this message comes as a confirmation that such an encounter is drawing near. And if there is already someone in your heart, someone who has been occupying your thoughts, then this reading reveals that the thread of connection between you and that person has never truly been severed. It may be a reconnection, it may be a bond that once seemed lost, but will once again intertwine, proving that this link has never truly dissolved. That is the essence of what this card conveys, an undeniable connection, a fated bond that cannot be broken. At the same time, this card also carries another message. Set your sights higher. Do not stop at what you are currently wishing for, because you have the capacity to reach beyond that, to rise toward greater aspirations, to dream bigger and more boldly. The universe is whispering to you that your desires need not remain confined to their present level. You are fully capable of grasping even greater, stronger, and more fulfilling dreams. And here again appears the card Chaos. But once more, I must stress that it bears no negative or frightening meaning. Instead, it heralds a sweeping transformation, a powerful shift that will completely reshape your current reality. What you have been accustomed to, what you have known, will undergo total change. This is not collapse, it is an eruption, an explosion of the energy you have been storing and holding within for so long. It may manifest as the sudden outpouring of your talents, as the unleashing of a hidden reservoir of strength deep within your soul. When this energy rises, it will create a tremendous impact, radiating outward with force, influencing even those around you. Within you lies the capacity to make a difference, the power to become an inspiration, even a guiding light for others. Therefore, if you are someone who has been searching for a true companion, a life partner, this message comes as the confirmation that such a person is drawing near. And if your focus has been placed on your career path or the way you live your life, this card also reveals that this transformation will ripple deeply into those very areas as well. Depending on what you are longing for, depending on the direction you are moving toward, fulfillment will appear in its own unique form. What I feel so vividly is that what you are yearning for is not a fleeting wish, not a shallow desire of it would be nice if it happened, but rather something you have truly ached for, something into which you have poured your heart and soul. And the universe has seen this. The universe has been listening, responding to the prayers you have sent out. For this reason, those deepest desires will be realized. Those long-cherished dreams held within your heart will at last manifest into reality. And so, with today's reading, the message brought to you is this. The wishes you have been holding on to, the yearnings you have carried within you, will come true. Today's theme is precisely this question, whether what you have so long desired will become reality, and the cards have delivered the answer. I will bring the reading for those of you who chose pile 3 to a close here. If in today's reading you felt that something, even the smallest glimmer, offered you a spark of clarity, or eased the weight of the questions you have been carrying in your heart, then I am truly grateful for that. I hope that you have found at least one hint, one sign, or one gentle reassurance that has lightened your mind and spirit. Thank you deeply for spending your time following along until the very end of this reading. May you always shine brightly, and may your days be filled with happiness and peace. Until we meet again in the next reading.